Hi everyone, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you how to take some readings and store them in Trend Networks AnyWARE Cloud. So, we've got some cables and we've got the PoE Pro and the remote IDs which I've covered in a previous video. And that's all we're going to need, except for, and last but not least, is a phone. And the only reason this is attached on a wire is the fact that I'm recording the screen out of the phone so I can show you in depth about the app. Right, so what I shall do, I shall power up the PoE Pro, get a lead ready, and just get a couple of the remote IDs to start with. Just put that there. And the whole point of being able to use the AnyWARE Cloud is the fact that you can make very professional reports and store all of the information for the whole job. It's easily retrievable, and it's something you can hand over to the client, which proves all of the work that you've done at all the different stages. Now, I'm using an iPhone, but you can also get the app on the Google Play Store. So, bit of Face ID, and then we want to go to the App Store and then search Trend Networks. Now be careful, because it's not the first app that you want. You want to scroll down a little bit, and it's the Trend AnyWARE Cloud. Now I've already downloaded this, so I'll just open it up. And the first thing you want to do is press this little ball here, and it will take you to the Trend Networks login page where you can log in or you can sign up. Alternatively, you can actually use your normal web browser on your computer. What we need to do is we need to register this device to your account that you've set up. And after registering the device, it gives you a nice picture, which is like, yep, pretty much looks like the one to me. And from here, we can start running through the app. Now, first thing to do, we can put their operator name in, so whoever's using this is actually assigned to this job. So that's me. We can start a job, or we can select a job, but there's none here. And we've got test ID information. So what we can do, test ID, and let's call it remote. Test remote ID once, cable information, which can be Cat6, fat finger syndrome, Cat6 UTP, and then we can add an image. So let's take a picture of this one, use picture. This actually gets logged. And then what we can do. Right, so I thought I'd do a test. So I'll try and make it as real world as possible. Enter new job name, Patch Bay 1. So we've created our job, Patch Bay 1. So it's selected, there's nothing to edit yet. We go over to start, and you can see the previous test. So if you just tap job, you'll see all your tests come up on like a roller. So we've got our Patch Bay 1, our fictitious work job that we're on with 12 rooms feeding out HTTP or video over IP. It's not really that important right this second. So if we go down to start, here's the previous test that we had. And if we want to get to our Patch Bay, we just tap where it says job, and at the bottom of the page it comes up with our options. So we select Patch Bay 1, okay, but it's telling us we need to connect to a device. No device connected. So if we go back home, select devices, it's found a PoE, and connect him. There we go, it's now connected. We can go back to the start. Patch Bay 1, I'm going to change it to port 01. Put my phone down for a second. And you can see we've got this green bar at the top saying awaiting test from PoE Pro. So I'm fictitiously plugging into port 1 because at the other end, in one of the rooms, we've got the remote ID. Plug that in. It's coming up, giving us a good read. There we go. That's now saved. And you can, if you want to, take a picture of that particular port. It's not necessary, but as much documentation as possible is never a bad thing. So that's done. We then plug into port 2. Done. 3. Done. Now I'm going to speed the video up here because it's just going to get a little bit boring watching me do all this. And that's all done. All of the 12 of the fictitious ports. We've got 12 tests. Just tap the cloud icon and it's going to upload all that information. So it's all nice and safe. There we go. Now if you actually tap your job, it will actually show you all the tests. And you can go into each test and it will actually show you the YMAP test results and what cable it was plugged into, device information and what mode it was in. And now we'll move on to the next type of test, which will be checking and testing power over Ethernet. So here we've got a network switch with PoE. We've got a PoE Pro, we've got a phone or tablet, whichever you want to use. So what I want to do is to go back into patch bay 1 with all of these port tests. I'm going to go to start, port ID test. I'm actually going to change this to PoE port 01. I'm going to plug the PoE into port 1. Then while it's doing its magic, I can use that time to take a picture. And obviously while out in the field, you would be labelling all your cables coming out of the wall and going into the relevant equipment. But because this is my test setup, I'm not doing that. So we're still running through the test. And here we've got all of the information. And then again, I press and hold. Now it's asking for port 2 and plug in to port number 2. And while that's thinking about it, I'll take a picture showing it's plugged into port 2, and that's going to be used and saved in the report. And it's all worked everything out. Press and hold, saved. And there we go, that's the last port that's actually being tested. And by doing this and using the reporting, it not only protects you and proves that the work has been done, it allows you to actually hand the client a document telling them at every stage you've taken care of their job. And there we go, that's it. So what this allows us to do now, if we go back to jobs, we can go to patch bay 1, and it allows you to look at, there we go, port 7, PoE Pro, it passed, and it has the PoE information. And the paperclip means that there's an attachment. So we've got all this information here, and we upload all jobs, and then that information is being sent to the cloud where you can access it back in the office, and you can start to collate the information per customer, per network, and put a very, very professional document together. And what we do now is we jump over to the desktop web browser, and we can have a look at all of that data on there. So here we are back at the Trend website, trend-networks.com, and then we're going to go into our AnyWARE Cloud account. I'm just going to log in, and you can see we've got our patch bay test here. So it's quite easy to view, and it gives you the first 10 rows as default, but I like to open it up to 100. And here we have all of the data that the PoE Pro recorded for us while we're doing that fictitious test. Now we can actually generate a report from all of this, and you need to go over to your main menu, which is the 3 lines over here. Click that, run down to reports, enter reports, and I've already pre-generated this report. It's just a case of hitting the download button and away we go. For me, it opens in a new window, and here you can clearly see the logo. So you can have your logo there. You'll have the general information, everything that you've inputted, and scrolling down, we start to get the test information. And over time during these online classes, the more information we add to the report, so the pages will get bigger and bigger. But what this actually proves is the fact that all of the testing information you do right from first fix can be recorded and kept, and then ultimately delivered to your client at the end of the job, which will show stage by stage that you've protected your work and their investment all the way through. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this rather long video, but I look forward to seeing you in the next group of videos very soon. Take care. Bye bye.